Hey guys, and welcome back to the Lead Pass Investment Group. Today, we'll be talking about a unique investment opportunity in private equity, Brewdog. Brewdog is a Scottish brewery and pub chain that is rapidly growing and has announced another round of crowdfunding. Before we get into Brewdog, please make sure to hit the thumbs up on this channel and potentially subscribe if you're liking the content we produce. Also, bear in mind that this is not financial advice, but for entertainment and educational purposes only. You have to make sure to understand your own investments, as I am not a financial advisor. Now, let's talk about Brewdog. They make their own beer in a very, very sustainable way. From when they started in 2007, they have been growing. And when I say growing, I mean growing. In their offer document, they show their progression over the years, starting from 2011. The revenue was equal to zero in 2011, or even negative, but then they steadily progressed to over 200 million British pounds in revenue from their beer and over 75 million from their bars. What is also nice to see is that they clearly show how much revenue comes from their bars and from their beer separately. Although they don't have to, they give us a deep insight into overall revenue, employee growth numbers, number of shareholders, and EBITDA. This to me hints that they're hungry for more and really want to attract more investors. You can also find a whole bunch of rumors on the internet saying that they are really looking to go to their IPO. But first, we need to talk about shareholders and crowdfunding again. Crowdfunding is done by private companies or companies not listed on the stock exchange. That means that they're offering ownership to investors, but only the ones that are willing to take the risk. Because when we invest in private equity or crowdfunding in general, our shares might never go public, which in turn makes them very difficult to buy and sell. If the company goes bankrupt, we lose all of our money, same as you would with a publicly traded company. But if they do go public, we have the chance to make a whole bunch of money. If you want to learn more about crowdfunding, go check out an older video of ours on that specific topic, which I have linked for you right here. The difficult thing with private equity is that we can't really assess the numbers. But as I've talked about before, Brewdog has done a great job in telling us about how their business is progressing. But the other main two factors we look at as lead pass investors is something that we can assess. After the numbers, we always assess the management. And the CEO of Brewdog is James Watt, who founded the company with his friend Martin Dickey. Now, one of the things about social media is that it gives us insights into people's lives when they're willing to share them. Especially younger people tend to share more information, and James Watt is one of these people. He also just turned 30 last week, and thankfully shares a ton of stuff on Brewdog and its progression. Now, if you want to see the progress that he talks about, simply follow him on LinkedIn, where he shares pretty much everything about Brewdog. The real moment they caught my eye was when I saw this Scottish company open a rooftop bar in Las Vegas. A rooftop bar in Las Vegas. Now that's legit. Because him and Martin have been driving this company forward very, very aggressively and doing a fantastic job at it, I believe this is a great management and we can trust them in doing the same going forward. Now on the flip side, there have been some rumors going around saying that there's a toxic working culture at Brewdog, but one of the great things that we really saw here is that the CEO stood up and said, you know what, this is giving me the opportunity to change the way that we manage people, and we have to progress in a positive way going forward. Now, our last pillar, competitive advantage, is difficult to assess. As I'm half Czech, I believe Czech beer is the best in the world. And you might have a similar opinion on the best beer in the world, just like millions of other people, simply because of your upbringing. However, considering that Brewdog has people drinking their beer in their own bars all over the UK, 6 bars in the US, 21 locations spread throughout Europe and Asia, as well as 8 new bars in the planning, we can say that they are making a claim for the title of a globally accepted beer that you can drink anywhere and people like it. But that's not enough. Brewdog is really big on ESG. And I'll repeat myself again here, They are really big on ESG. First of all, they say from the get-go that they never intend to pay any dividends to shareholders, as they want to equally distribute spare money to their most valuable asset, their employees. But they also want to fuel their continuous growth. This is exactly what we want as Lead Pass investors. As long as growth is fueled and the distribution to employees does not only stay at management levels. But there's still more. Brewdog opened a carbon negative brewery, the first of its kind in the world. But if someone says something like this, we have to ask, how is that possible? Now, I'm no scientist, so I can't really explain the details. But what I can tell you is that they looked at every single step of their supply chains to mitigate carbon emissions. They also bought 2,000 acres of land where they will be planting trees. Essentially, this means that the more beer you drink, the better you're doing for the environment. Now, these things aren't just good to hear, but they also influence consumer behavior. Let's be honest. Just by hearing about all of these things, don't you just want to try one of their beers because they take care of their people and their planet? You can add to the list here by saying that they work with solar and wind energy in all of their locations, recycle all of their ingredients. They're looking to only use electric vehicles and are looking to recover CO2 emissions. Now, this doesn't necessarily make this the best beer, and you can again argue about the taste, but it certainly does create a strong and sustainable brand moat, which is something investors always are drawn to, just like us as Lead Pass investors. The potential downsides I see for Brewdog are the rapid growth that can overwhelm an organization at certain times. If they don't make sure to implement good governance and hire the right people to execute, they might run into trouble down the road. Additionally, as with every private equity investment, we never know how long our money is invested for, with no immediate exit. So think about that very, very closely before you invest any of your money. The last thing to say is that their crowdfunding ends in 66 days. That means that we investors can only get in and invest in Brewdog until then. After that, you can no longer invest in the company unless they have a new crowdfunding campaign or go public. This also means that your money might be locked up for a while. On that note, they were looking to raise $27.5 million and have nearly reached that goal with still 2 months left in their crowdfunding campaign, which is a very, very good sign. What is also pretty cool is that Brewdog wants you to get involved with the company and are giving us investors perks to invest. That means discounts in their bars, potentially free beer depending on the amount invested, and other merchandising material. It's also great to see that they're marketing on several different channels, have a scoreboard for the investors with the most referrals during their crowdfunding campaign. Now, if you haven't guessed already, I really like the look of this company. They're growing, led by fantastic management, and have really taken care of the environment, which is being accepted on a global scale in a fairly competitive market. I'm eager to see the future progress of Brewdog and can't wait to get my free box of beer due to my investment. I'll also put my referral link in the description below, just in case you guys want to help me out in the rat race. But again, before you put your money into any company, do your own due diligence and research the company. This is not financial advice, but is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps to the development of the channel. But now I really want to know about what you guys think. Have you looked into Brewdog? And do you think it's a good investment? Or do you not? Or what else are you guys looking at?